Distinguished directors, respected senior colleagues, and esteemed members of our team, good morning. It is truly
Good morning.
It is truly a privilege to anchor this important session today. I sincerely appreciate the leadership for providing this platform for us to strengthen our institutional capacity and sharpen our operational effectiveness. Today's walkthrough session is not merely an event. It is part of our broader commitment to excellence, accountability, and continuous improvement. I encourage us to engage actively, ask questions, and see these sessions as a collaborative learning opportunity. Together, we can translate knowledge into measurable impact. Having said that, let's get it started. Please let all of us visit crossrapid.com. Crossrapid.com, that is where all taxpayers go. That's the umbrella website where all taxpayers go, and where the Cross River State government is using to handle all payments of taxes, levies, etc. in the states. So we champion these sites wherever you are, team officers, AAs. This is a website we champion. Note that if you are a staff of IRS, you have to first of all put CRS IRS dots before you put crossrapid.com. But all staff, all taxpayers go straight up to crossriverpay.com. So having said that, what the taxpayer need to do? We have to enlighten the taxpayers that you have to do your self-assessment before you make your payment. What's the importance of this process? It will make your reporting better. If you want to know how many people have access in your location, you can easily get a report very easily, because it's not just payment alone, but assessment and payment. So you can get that assessment report correctly. And then you can also get to know how many people paid in your area because of the person that assessed first and paid the assessment. So you are sure of your report to be beautifully, be clear and perfect. That's why this route is very, very, much encouraged. So let's now go straight to the self-assessment process. Taxpayer walks in, and now say again. Which language is that? Who can interpret the language for us? Okay. All right, let's go back to business. Okay. Let's go back to business. All right, so can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
Great. So now taxpayer walks in here, it goes to self-assessment. Can you see self-assessment under tax services?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
So he goes there and clicks on his self-assessment to make a payment. And then the person has to enter his TIN. Of course, every taxpayer needs a TIN to enter, to do anything in Cross River State, pay anything in Cross River State. So let me introduce you to a taxpayer called, there's one of my favorite taxpayers here. Let me look for him. Let me introduce you to one of our taxpayers. I don't know if you know him. Okay, no, that's the wrong spelling. Okay. Is that correct spelling?
Stanley.
Is that correct spelling?
So should we type Stanley Obi?
Oh, Stanley O'Rourke.
Use our own.
Do you know him?
Stanley O'Rourke.
You know him?
Yes, is it not you?
Okay,
Yes,
that's
Are you
him
not
then.
Stanley
Yeah.
Obi or
So let's say this is a taxpayer now who walks into Crossfire Pay, right? And then as he walks into Crossfire Pay, he now enters his team. He wants to do a self-assessment. And now proceeds. Okay. Now, before we proceed there, let us check to see if that Stanley Obi has any assessment in the system. Okay. So let me go back to the staff login and check if this Stanley Obi has any assessment. So we can now check the efficacy of this process. So income tax, direct assessment, history. Let's check if this Stanley Obi has any assessment. We proceed. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we are. So can we see that for now, Stanley B has no assessment? Have you seen that?
Please, where did you get to this site, sir?
No, AS will understand. This is where AS. This is where AS.
Okay.
This is where AS used to check to see if the taxpayer has assessment or not. So AS will understand this aspect. Okay, just to confirm that Stanley B has no assessment. That's why we came this way. So now we go back to the self-service portal. Again, crossrapid.com. Then click on hover on tax services and click on self-assessment. It will open up this area here. When you open up this area, you now enter your TIN as a taxpayer and proceed. Once you proceed, then you wait for it to open up. It now comes up with a message telling you, is this person you? Of course, if it's you, you will close. Maybe if it's not you, you will close. Maybe it's you, oh, it's me. You click on continue to proceed. You click on continue. That it is me. Proceed. Now, tax planner gets here, okay, where you can actually do a self-assessment. Now, it's now left for the AAs to enlighten the taxpayers that you are in the jurisdiction of Calabar 1, we're in the jurisdiction of Calabar 2, we're in the jurisdiction of Ogoja and all that. Especially those one are Ogoja and Yakoda, that one is easy. Because if you come here, you can actually choose your tax office. I'm in Akampa, I'm in Ogoja, I'm in Bakassi. But those who are in Calabar, they might get confused which one is their own. Is their own Calabar 1 or Calabar 2? You get. But the rest is clear. Calabar South is clear. So the Calabar 1 and Calabar 2 tax office is to enlighten their taxpayers to know where they fall. So if that is done, then we can now move straight to the next process. The taxpayer will choose his tax office and choose his business. Is his business, is he doing business? Is he doing an employer? Is it a business or employment? You choose the one that is applicable. In this case, business. I'm a businessman, of course, I'm a businessman. Then what is my annual income? Okay. So okay, I make like 550,000 naira in a year. Okay, so let's say 550,000 naira. That's what I make in a year. Okay, it's what the person self-assesses himself. He knows himself better than all of us. So this is what he knows. Okay, maybe I earn 50,000 naira a month, or I earn 40,000 naira a month. I multiply that by 12. That's my annual income. Okay, the person now puts it there. This is my annual income. Okay, so from there, the person doesn't do any housing scheme or social insurance scheme, pension. The person don't do all that. Okay, it's only doing just their assessment. So now, the year of choice, you choose 2023. Remember, the person wants tax clearance. Choose 2023. The next year, you can add another year again. Add another year. Another year again is choosing 2024. 2024. 2024. And then it says his income is maybe 556. Maybe this next year increased. The next year increased 556. And then it has another year, the third year, because it wants tax clearance. The third year, 2024. Third year, 2024. Where's that year? Come out here. See it here. The third year is 2024. 2024. And then his income is maybe say 570. It has increased over time. Okay. Now, as I observe, you can actually remove any year you find as a mistake. You see, you can actually remove any year if you see as a mistake. You get. You can actually remove any year. And when you're doing your training, when you're training your taxpayers, train them to enter the years accordingly. Not 2025, 2024, 2023, but train them to enter the year 2023 accordingly, 2024 accordingly, and 2025 accordingly. So a system can interpret that correctly. So 2023, 2024, and 2025. You see that? 2023, 2024, and 2025. So now after that, the person now says, the person now checks this box. I confirm that the above details belong to me and should be held accountable if otherwise. So the person checks that box, okay? And the person now come and click this box and say, I'm not a robot. You see that? I'm not a robot. Well, in this case, it might ask you a question like, complete the picture. It might not. But if it does, just complete the picture puzzle that it asks you to do. Let me just complete this picture puzzle so that it can open up. It doesn't do it every time, okay? But if it does pop up, just complete the picture puzzle and then you are done. Then click on proceed. So proceed. Once you click on proceed, what would happen? You see a green bar, a green successful bar at the top right telling you that your assessment has been successfully generated. Okay, have you seen that? You have successfully submitted your assessment. Have you seen that?
Yes.
So now, once that is done, the person has successfully submitted the assessment. Now, let us now go to the AA side now. Remember, before we checked here, there was no assessment. Remember? Now let's search again now. Let's search this thing now. Let's search this thing now. For this taxpayer again now as an AA. Let's search and see what happens now. So we're now searching this as an AA now to see what a person has self-generated if it is now showing AA's channel. Good. Have you seen that? Did it show? Did it show? It has shown. Have you seen that? Yes. That the person is paying 17,920, 17,136, 16,800 based on his self-assessment. Okay. Now, this is not final. Of course, you can always review this assessment up or down. You can always contest this assessment up or down because you know taxpayers as AAs. You know taxpayers more than everybody. So if you check your every morning, you come and check your reports to know who have done the assessment yesterday. How do you do that? As an AA, you log in and now come to all direct assessments. Have you seen that? All direct assessment. You click on it. Now, when you click on it, you now come and say, okay, please show me the assessment, daily assessment that was done yesterday. So you can say daily assessment. It's assumed that you've been doing an assessment, you'll be checking the assessment every day. So you only have one day left to check, maybe yesterday and today. So it's okay, show me the assessment that occurred today, being March 3rd. It's a view assessment. You can as well check the one that happened a whole month ago. Okay. So now, have you seen that that taxpayer is among those assessed?
Yes.
Yes. So you don't have to wait for a form to come before you with a team. Say check if the person may assess this by the AA. You can also check the assessment that have been done by the self-portal, self-assessment from taxpayers. You can see that the taxpayer's own is there, that is self-assessed. Have you seen there? Is there. So from here, the AAs know what to do. They will view the assessment and say it's okay. If it's okay, they will let it fly. But if it's not okay, they will communicate with the taxpayer that this assessment is not okay. And the taxpayer will be guided accordingly. So now from here, you can see that the taxpayer is already, this is the taxpayer side now. The taxpayer is being told that this amount they're going to pay. They have to pay 856 naira. And the person, okay, I'm okay with that. You now just come and click on, I confirm that both details belong to me, and now say make payment. Make payment. You see, the person click on make payment. When the person click on make payment, it will now prompt the person the payment portal where he can now make his payments, and then the person now get value of his payment. Okay. So let's wait for it to come up. Have you seen that? It comes up. And then the platform asks the person, this is your money that I want to pay. How do you want to pay it? Do you want to pay through bank transfer? Want to pay through bank branch? That is, you want to go and print an invoice and go and queue in the bank and pay? Or how do you want to pay? Well, as a Y2K personnel or person that is of the jet age, I would want to use bank transfer. I don't want stress. So I click on bank transfer, okay? And now come down, click on bank transfer. Are we together? Via Something is missing. Okay, bank transfer is not enabled. Okay, but let's try this bank branch, okay? Bank branch is enabled. Have you seen bank branch? Pay direct bank branch is enabled. And then pay with e-transact is enabled. Pay with bank card transfer. Have you seen this last option? Pay online with card bank transfer. Have you seen that? So as a Y2K personnel, I'll take this last one. Pay with card. Okay. So I click on it. When I click on it, what will happens?
Okay, that's the SPC side.
Can someone, if you are on, please mute yourself, please. Mute your mic, please. Mr. Effium Princess, please mute yourself. Okay. So back to where we are. Yeah. So good. Good. So you can see the amount comes up now. The amount comes up 51,856 naira. And you now transfer to Wema Bank. You see? Transfer that amount to my bank. This account is a virtual account. It's designed only to receive this amount. If you pay more, it will debit you and reverse. If you pay less, it will debit you and reverse. Okay. So when a person pays, from this point, I think is that a question?
When I was in ICC, that's what I used to do.
I'm hearing someone talking. Is that a question? Is that a question, please? If it's a question, can you be a little bit audible? If not a question, please permit me to mute you. There will be a question and answer session, please. Okay, so back to where we were. So, when the person pays this, and then after the person has transferred from his bank account to this Wema Bank, he can now say, I have transferred the money. And at that point, the government receives value, the taxpayer receives value, and then everyone is happy. Okay? Everyone is happy. And now the taxpayer can also log in and see his assessments. Are we together? So let's assume the taxpayer has paid this, okay? He has paid this. Let me go back. He assume he has paid it, okay? He has paid already. So the taxpayer can actually log in. Let's see, let the taxpayer log in now. Taxpayer logs in. He's a taxpayer. He goes to log in as a taxpayer. He logs in and then he now signs in as a taxpayer. He now sees all what has transpired in his platform. You can see the progress of his report and all that. So let us log in as a taxpayer. Great. So this is a taxpayer's login. He has logged in. Okay. He has logged in. Now, have you seen assessment history here? Assessment history here. Good. Let's click on that. So we've clicked on assessment history. Now, have you seen that the self-assessment that the person made is there waiting for him? Have you seen that? Yes. Is there waiting for him. So if the person now comes now and opens the assessment now, say view application. If the person clicks on and view application, let's see the application, let's see that assessment now. As a taxpayer. Okay, we don't have much time. We've been told that our time is almost running up, so let's wrap this up quickly. Now, a taxpayer now logs into his platform. Now, you can see now that he has self-assessed himself. Have you seen there? Now, do you see this place here called conversation history? The taxpayer can chat the service. Hi, I have just made a self-assessment, and please want a TCC, and sends. The taxpayer has sent that information. Okay. Now, you now as an AA now logs in to your portal, and now it's now going through this assessment of a taxpayer, and now comes to this one and say, okay, let me view this application. This money is too small. At least I know him. The man is a big man. He owns a 17 police station in Bekwara. He owns 100 police station in Akampa, and holds 10 police station in USA. So he can't pay 10,000. So you now go to the application. Now, if you go to the application now, you can scroll down, and have you seen his conversation? This is this is like a staff now who has logged in to the platform, and you can see that he chatted us here. Hi, I have just made a self-assessment, and please want my TCC. Now, you as an AA now, or a head revenue assurance, or head their assessment, can now come here. He say, after making all your investigation, he say, oh, sir, I know you have 100 filling station in USA. You have 17 oil wells in Bakwera. You have 20. You tell all the evidence you have before the person here, and then let him know that what they have self-assessed is not adequate. So based on that, you have to pay a difference of 10,000 naira and send. See, once you send a message, the taxpayer now goes to, he has waited for 1 day. He hasn't had anything. The person now logs into his platform, say, what has happened to my assessment? When he now comes to this assessment, he refreshes. And when he refreshes, he will now see the message that was sent by the AAs. It will reflect on his conversation bar. You see. So by so doing, the taxpayer can get to know what is happening to his TCC, and then what is to do, what is to do. I think we are going to work with the dev team to expand this window so the taxpayer can see clearly. But you can see clearly that the reply of what I said is here. The reply of the staff or the AAs is seen. Just that the box is not wide enough. We're going to work with the dev team to widen this box to be big enough so that the taxpayers can also see the chat that is going on between the AAs or the RA or whichever taxpayers. So the taxpayer can get to pay the balance. If the taxpayer says, oh, you have to pay 10,000 extra, taxpayer just come here to make payments. You see, you click on make payments. And when you click on make payment, you now choose their assessment and choose the amount he is told to pay additional. It comes here, you choose internal revenue service, and then he will now choose revenue head. Revenue head is their assessment. Let it load up. So you will now choose revenue head, their assessment, direct assessment. You're gonna see their assessment informal sector 1. And now whatever RA or the EC or the system or the AAs, have gone back and forth with the system and they never agreed that if you pay this amount, the person put the amount that has been agreed by the service, and the person now chooses means of payment, and to pay via money point or through any method, and then the person now clicks make payments. The interface will come up like the normal interface and tell the person pay the 10,000 naira difference, and the person gets to pay the 10,000 naira, and RA or AAs or head of assessment will all see that payment and now continue the process of approval. Okay, so once the process of approval is finished, then a mail will drop. Sorry, we're doing this faster because our time is almost up. So the person gets to see the interface, he pays the balance. You see, the person pays the balance. After the person pays the balance to this account, that is done. Then the ACE now and the heads will go ahead with approval. After approving all the process, of course, the person will be chatted upon to make his payment for processing fee. Okay, so the person now comes to let's say the person now comes to Cross River Pay. This Cross River Pay, Cross River Pay. I want to show that we want tax clearance. It now comes up and now makes a payment of 10,000 naira, or sorry, 5,000 naira processing fee. It comes here. You see tax services. You see TCC processing. You click on that, taxpayer, and then enter his TIN, I can see the 5,000 already waiting for him there. Enter his and say, make payments. When the person made that payment, the AAs will see, RA will see, everybody in the system will see that the person has done his 3 years filing and he has paid for tax clearance, 5,000 naira. From there, the service now moves to the normal thing. The normal thing. And when the service does the normal thing, a person now gets his tax clearance notification right in his email. Okay, that CEO, the tax clearance is ready. The person can now come to Crossfire Pay, will go to verified tax clearance and print out his tax clearance without leaving the confines of his home. You see, as easy as it is. So for the fact that we have a very short time, I think our time is over. We have just 30 minutes, and then we have used 9 minutes extra. So that's all for that process. And thank you so much for having me. So I now want to open up the portal to questions, question and answer, please. So if you have any question or something you don't understand, you can please ask so that we can get through that. Thank you. Any question? No question? Okay. So it's that means that everything was straightforward and end to end. We all understand the whole process end to end, back to back. Am I right? I want the feedback from the audience, please.
Good morning, Mr. Stanley.
Good morning, Mr. Daniel.
I have a question, please.
Please shoot.
Yes. My question is, in a situation where a taxpayer is in income,
Yes.
and maybe also has a business in maybe Calabar 1 or Calabar 2.
Yeah.
But he lives in income, he has a business maybe in Calabar 2.
Okay.
So he now decides to rent his self-assessment in Calabar 2.
Okay. Okay.
So in that case, who should approve the assessment? Is it the AA in income or the AA in Calabar 2? How would the system?
It depends. You know, the system is not a human. The system is designed in a way that wherever the assessment is being raised, that's where the accolade goes to. Where the team was, where the person is living in Akampa or living in Calabar, anywhere is living, but where the business is residing, where the assessment was raised. If, for example, now the person has a business in Calabar 1, and then who will visit that business? Is it the Ecom AA that will visit that business or the Calabar 1 AA that will visit that business? You agree with me that it's the Calabar 1 as AA that will visit that business? You get, because the business is open to public, and then the AA now visits the business and then assesses him. Okay, so the accolade will go to that AA who assessed that business. So if, for example, now the person is living in Ecom, but his business is in Calabar 1. Sorry, our 45 minutes window was over, so we're thrown out. So we have to start this meeting again. So just click on the link. Encourage your friends to our colleagues to click on the link and rejoin us. So the AA Ecom asked us a question, a very powerful, important question. So now I want to answer this question with a technical question that will help us solve his own question. And his own question is, or my own question is, if, for example, someone has a business in Calabar 1, and his business has a very big generator. Go back to our WhatsApp. Has a very big generator that is spewing out waste. The person pours refuse in the gutter, and then the whole place is contaminated and all that. And IRS now comes in and asks him for waste management or pollution, air pollution, or want to pay for air pollution. Now, will he pay for that air pollution to Ecom, or you pay for air pollution to Calabar? So the same principle. Because he's dating the streets of Calabar, he's causing waste management for Calabar. It's Calabar that will come and clean the waste management and all that, So the person that is doing the work is here in Calabar, and then the person in Ecom wants to get the glory. The same principle. So the system, the taxpayer chose that he is in Calabar 1, that his business is in Calabar 1. And so the assessment will go to Calabar 1. So the accolade wants to go to Calabar 1, irrespective of where the team was created. Does that make sense? If you come here, I've answered your question. Oh, David, you're here with us. Have I answered the question correctly? Great. So is there any other question, please? So we can wrap this up real quick. Our 30 minutes, we stopped to our 30 minutes, although we started late, but at least we stopped to our 30 minutes right on time. So this is just question and answer session. If you have any question, please feel free to ask now, so we can wrap this up real quick. This is a recorded meeting, so the meeting will be dropped. The recording will be dropped for everyone to listen to, so that no one will be left behind. So I think we are done here. There's no other question. Thank you so much for joining in. Like I said earlier, this video will be dropped at the AS channel, and we all can see. If maybe anyone wants a further training on any module or any session, or there's something that maybe was said earlier on the training, but you didn't quite get it, we can always revisit and do short sessions like this. So thank you so much for joining. And after everything, no question. The only question that was asked has been answered. I think we are all good. I think we're all good, right? Or any further question? All right, no further question. Okay. All right then. So the meeting is ending in a count of 5 after no question has been administered. Mr. Ayo, you're back. I don't know if you answered your question before we end this meeting. Did you answer your question, Mr. Daniel Ayo? Hello, Mr. Daniel Ayo. Did we answer your question correctly?
Well, yes, you did. But you know why I asked that
No.
question?
No.
Because this is an opportunity for some staff, who are very close to the taxpayers to take advantage of the system. In the sense that before now, we've been observing that you go to field and you see that the taxpayers have been assessed, maybe a taxpayer in Ecom have been assessed by an AA in maybe Calabar 1 or Calabar 2. And when you find out, sometimes the AA does not have an idea, but this is a collaboration between the taxpayer and maybe the ICT personnel. So what I'm saying is, what if this kind of thing happen? Maybe since it is self-assessment, maybe a staff guide a taxpayer, to raise a self-assessment and put it maybe in Calabar 2. And the taxpayer is an Ecom taxpayer. What can be done?
Well, okay, I get your question. It's a very similar question to what if a taxpayer collaborates with a taxpayer to create a team? Because team is we have team officers in all the AA locations. We have team officers, but we also have a self portal where staff or taxpayer can go in and do a self team creation or create team by himself. Okay, so the same thing, the system is designed to allow self-assessment and self-team creation. That's what the NGF has stipulated. That's what the tax laws has, say should be like that. That's what the JTB says, that every state should be able to leave that open to the public, both team creation and self-assessment. You get? So we cannot actually do anything about that. So the problem is not a system per se. The problem is operation. So it's the operation now that will sanitize the system. If, for example, now you are the operation now can now check the address, and the address does not match, you can now tell it, because the person who raised the assessment face will be there. If it's a person in AA, why did you go and do an assessment for someone that is not, So it's an operational issue. It's not a system issue. It's what the people that use the system, the operations of the system will now fix. The system can't fix that, but the system is ready to make sure everyone creates team, everyone does assessment before payment. So the system can't fix that. It's the humans. It's an operational something that the operation will solve. You get. So the director can come up with a policy that this is a policy that will govern this process. It's a human process. It's not a system process.
Okay, because I was thinking at the point of approval, at the point of approval, that can be taken care of.
Even then, even though it's a point of approval, it is a human process, because it's not a system that approves, it's a human that approves. So it's now left for you to discuss with your principals. I'm not in that circle of discussion. It is your principal, you and your principal, and the processes you put in place, the human processes that can curtail that. My own is just to ensure you that the platform can do self-assessment, and the platform can also do self-team creation. The taxpayer can pay from the confines of his home, apply for tax clearance, and get a notification in his email that tax clearance is ready. That's the work I'm doing. You get. But what you're asking is an operational process, which the humans that are using the system can fix. You get. Because if, for example, now a taxpayer is in a Calabar and his business is dirtying the streets of Calabar, his business is polluting the environment of Calabar, the glory of a tax should be accruing to the Calabar. You have to pay air pollution to Calabar. You have to pay waste management to Calabar. Also, the assessment also to Calabar, because the assessment was done and the business is domiciled here in Calabar. You get. So if the system, the human system want to streamline that, only the AA should only AA should get the glory of a certain assessment. That one is pure human process. Because remember that whenever you log in as an AA, you see only your territory. You cannot see what an AA is doing. You get. So, but if you carry a team, that belongs to another location, and then a system is designed to receive money, an assessment. You get. So if maybe someone in income carries a business of a team in Calabar and does and assess, that one is purely the human processes that your principals can address. Because if you do anything to stifle the system, IGR will be affected. So we focus more on growing IGR rather than human praise or human accolades. It's a teamwork. Our focus is on IGR, not on human accolade. So, but if you want to streamline the human accolades, then it's a human process, not a system process. The system is main on supporting His Excellency and our Chief Executive, our amiable chairman, to meet his target on IGR. That's the focus of the system. So have I answered the question, Mr. Daniel? Okay. In this case, silence means yes. Thank you so very much. So let's wrap this up.
Yes.
All right, let's wrap this up. In the count of 5, we are bringing the meeting to an end. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.